Hi, this is AvaJean Westland, AvaJean Westland, and the date is Sunday, March 25th, 2012. Either by thy picture or my love, thyself away, art present still with me. For thou not farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or, if they sleep, thy picture in my sight awakes my heart to heart's and eyes' delight. Yeah, I was the kid. It got so that every pissant prairie punk who thought he could shoot a gun would ride into town to try out the Waco Kid. I must have killed more men than Cecil B. DeMille. Got pretty gritty. I started to hear the word draw in my sleep. Then one day I was just walking down the street and I heard a voice behind me say, "Reach for it, mister." Mister? I spun around, and there I was face to face with a 6-year-old kid. Well, I just threw my guns down and walked away. The little bastard shot me in the ass. So I limped to the nearest saloon, crawled into a whiskey bottle, and I've been there ever since. My uncle went to Canada to protest the war, right? On the 4th of July, he was down with my aunt, and he got drunk and told my dad he felt guilty he didn't fight in Vietnam. So I said, "What's the deal, Uncle Jeff? In wartime you want to be a pacifist, and in peacetime you want to be a soldier? It took you 20 years to find out you don't believe in anything?" Is Margot from The Wisdom of Eve by Mary Orr. It's actually the play that the movie All About Eve is based on. It's funny about playwrights and actresses. You just saw Lloyd and me have a terrible fight. I don't really understand why it was so vicious. The truth is that we're natural enemies. I'm the cat, he's the dog. And yet we're tied together like a pair of Siamese twins. One can't function without the other. People have said to me that I could walk on the stage and read the telephone book and they'd be fascinated. It's a nice compliment to my ego, and I'm flattered. But deep down in my cat-like instinct, I know it isn't true. Before I got through the A's in that book, I'd hear snores all over the theater. They also say to me, "Oh, Miss Crane, you say such funny things." They forget that someone with more talent and wit than I have has written down those amusing things for me to memorize. I can't even write a letter. It's a struggle for me to write a note that says, "Thanks for the flowers." That's the difference between a creative talent and an interpretive one. Without me, those brilliant, funny words that Lloyd dreams up would be as dead as if they were engraved on a tombstone. I bring them to life. Unfortunately, a dozen other actresses could do the same thing. I could be replaced. But no one can replace the playwright. I think that's why I treat them so badly. I belittle them and give them a very hard time. I think I do it because inside I'm really full of envy and jealousy. Their talent, if it's really good, will be printed in books like Oscar Wilde or Shakespeare, and it will be put into libraries and live forever. While my talent, no matter how good, will die with me. It will live on only a short while in the memories of the people who have seen me act and who will someday follow me to the grave. This is Rashonda from the movie 28 Days with Sandra Bullock. Rashonda is a woman who is also in rehab with Sandra Bullock's character, and this is her talking to her counselor about how she got sent to the facility. Well, I was at a wedding, and I had a few drinks. And I remember the speeches were going on. You know, people were going up saying stuff. And Miss Esme went up there. She wanted to share her wisdom on the constitution of marriage. And you know, straight away I was laughing because I knew she had like 7 kids, plenty of men, but had never been married. And Miss Esme kind of loved wearing wigs. You know, she always wore them. Nobody ever saw her without a wig on. And for some reason that day, the wig kind of looked strange to me. So I was laughing even more. And then I hear, Rashonda. Hey, Rashonda, what you laughing at? Come on and get me if you think you're bad. So I look up, and it's the wig calling me. No, I swear to God. No, I swear on my babies, I heard it. So I crept up on that wig so quietly that nobody even knew I was up there till I had it in my hands, you know, waving it around and stomping on it. And I'm mad now, so I'm screaming, you know, who you calling a raggedy ass? Hi, this is something I wrote for a woman in acting class. I don't even remember what it was about, but it says here, a young woman in her 20s sits in the waiting room of a woman's health clinic with her best friend, who is a gay man. She is waiting anxiously to be called in to see the doctor.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Haven't we been mating long? No? Oh. Well, thanks for coming, Paul. I've never been in one of these before. I mean, a woman's clinic or seen a ladies' doctor. Probably should have done it sooner, but I thought, hey, why make a problem if there ain't none, right? I know, Paul. Yes, you're right. Jesus, for a man who's never seen the inside of a vagina, you sure know an awful lot about them. God. Oh, I'm sorry. We'll keep it down. Stop laughing. This isn't funny. This can't be. This isn't happening. I am not sitting here at 29, unmarried and pregnant. I'm not here. I cannot be sitting in a free clinic, and the closest thing I've got to a baby daddy is a neurotic bottom with an addition to Xanax and Project Runway. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just, we've been waiting a while, and I'm a little anxious. Sorry, Paul. Oh, come on, don't pout. I'm stressed. You're still my Paulie bear, right? Oh, you're the best thing I've got going, you know that? The most dependable guy in my life, ever. How am I going to tell my parents? Mom, she'll be great, but she'll want me to move back home, and I just can't take another Minnesota winter, you know? But Dad, him and his perfect Stepford wife and his children from the corn. Well, I wasn't good enough for him to stick around, so this disappointment won't be much of a surprise, will it? His first grandchild. Do you think he'll talk to me now? Yeah, you're probably right. Well, why do that to the kid, right? Anyway, she or he will have you. And with me as a mom... No, I'm a good person. I can do this, right? I can do this. I mean, no more acting career, that's over. And I had talent. Did I ever tell you that when I was 9, I made my mother treat me like the family dog for a week? Yeah, and I would only eat out of the dog bowl on the floor and communicate with woofs. I went the distance. Motherhood will be a piece of cake. I wish I could do this.
This is script number 1 again, Shakespeare. Either by thy picture or my love, thyself away, art present still with me. For thou not farther than my thoughts canst move, and I am still with them, and they with thee. Or, if they sleep, thy picture in my sight awakes my heart to heart's and eyes' delight. Boston, and he went to an ice cream store, And it was hard enough, you know, with the Brooklyn accent and the guy behind the counter with the Boston accent. That was hard enough. But then the guy, Andrew from Brooklyn, was like, yo, man, let me get some sprinkles on that. And the guy's like, huh? What? You want some jimmies? And Andrew said, he was like, in pardon my French, what the fuck are you talking about, man? Just give me some sprinkles. And they went back for 5 minutes before they realized they were talking about the exact same thing. She said, 11-teen. And I went, 11-teen. Yeah, 11-teen. And I actually counted. I went 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Those are the only teens I know. I don't know of an 11-teen. And she's looking at me like I'm nuts. And after about a minute, I said, wait a minute. Do you mean 11-10? Yeah, 11-teen. I was like, wow. Okay. Yeah, it took me a whole 2 minutes. She thought I was nuts. And me, I'm like, yeah, it was funny.